So, did I pull it? Where is it? Oh, here we go. Is this thing on? Y'all don't know how much life I got from this. Is this thing on? Let me ask this poll question. I swear I had typed this somewhere, but have you heard me tell the Kiara Ross story? I'll just say story and then I'll explain. But have you heard me tell the Kiara Ross story? It is one of Darius Cooks' ex-employees who worked for him at Soul Crab Atlanta for a month, only a month, and she was unpaid. And she was speaking out in 2021 when all the public attention was getting on Darius Cooks for being a scammer, etc. And she was speaking about her experience and how she worked for him for a month and never got paid. It was 2 years later that she was sharing her story and still hadn't been paid. And she said, in addition to that, Darius Cooks assaulted her. Have you heard me tell that story? Because I've told it a multitude of times. Well. We have breaking news. We have an update. This exclusive came from one of our friends over there on Twitter, and they posted a receipt that gives us more info on this story. And I don't know if you've seen it, but I have now shared it officially on all of my platforms. Make It Make Sense has shared the exclusive proof that Darius's version of the story is not true. Hence where we get these mugshot pictures from. Now, Darius Cooks has claimed for years that Kiara's version of the story was completely false. And that people have been saying that he abuses women. He even got on recently and he was talking about Diddy and how it's unacceptable for a man to put his hands on a woman. Now, a couple of weeks ago, he was sitting there defending Diddy, and y'all ain't got no proof. Y'all always running, listening to somebody. As somebody who's had people making false allegations on me, I don't just jump when people start talking about how somebody did them wrong. I need the receipts. Where are the receipts? That's fine. But we also don't victim blame. And the energy around him when he does those sort of things, because he does them all the time, he always defends the predator. Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Larry Reed, now Diddy, and the list goes on and on. Anytime a predator, somebody who has multiple allegations that usually have some layers of receipts already attached to them, he's always like, well, had they been convicted? Yeah, people just be saying stuff. See, I know what that feel like. Yeah, because you guilty too. You guilty too. So he was defending Diddy a couple of weeks ago, but when Diddy's tape came out of him dragging Cassie and throwing vases at her in the hotel hallway and all of that, it was undeniable what that was, and he couldn't push against that. And so he jumped onto what the majority was saying, which was, is horrible. And now he's talking about he was done with Diddy. Well, all of a sudden, people who are always working in the background decided to go ahead and release this that they've had for a very, very, very long time. So without me saying too much. So my question in closing out this poll question, what was this? Have you heard me tell the Kiara Ross story? Only 49% of you have. So almost half of y'all have, half of you have not. So good news for you. Both of those who have, you're going to hear more than I knew. Those of you who have not, you're going to hear the entire story from A to Z with receipts, because that's what we do over here. That's what we do over here. Oh, so for the show tonight, we're going to talk about the timeline of the Kiara Ross story, the former employee of Darius Cooks. So I don't know. Can you call somebody an employee when you never paid them? That's called indentured servitude. That's not really an employee. And last I heard, enslaving people is against the law in America. No, some people trying to reverse the clock like Trump. Anyway, y'all have y'all read the 2025 plan manifesto? What's it called? Policy Project 2025. I'm gonna be talking about that as well. Y'all watch that. They coming after y'all. They're coming after us. So we're gonna be talking about the timeline of the story from Darius Cooks' perspective, his created narrative, which is what he says. He creates the narrative. We're gonna go through the narrative that he created. Then we're gonna look at the story from Kiara's POV, her point of view. And then we're going to give the receipts. That's going to be the real version of the story, along with the receipts that align. And then we'll show, we're going to laugh at the mugshot. And I'm going to give y'all some dirt on that too. Oh, and there's so much more to come. Oh, I gave it up too quick. I wanted to wait a little longer to say that. Oh my God, I can't wait. Oh my God, I can't wait. Oh my God, source. I had a conversation today. Oh, it was beautiful. Just warmed and tickled my heart. I was like, oh my God, you got more? Oh Lord, God is too good. Oh, I don't know if I can take it. So poll question that's going out is, have you seen Darius Cooks' interview with Larry Reed Live back in June of 2021 when he was claiming his innocence? So for those of you who don't know, quick little overview on this. Back in about June of 2021, Black Enterprise magazine put out an article about Darius Cooks being a scammer, complete with receipts. It was a short article and it talked about all the allegations against him and had a couple little receipts here and there of the receipts for the scams. Darius Cooks had a follower, Lakeitha. No, what was it? Lakeisha? Something like that. Lakeithia? Was it Lakeithia? I think it was Lakeithia. So he has a D-haver who decided that she was just outdone. No, that's not true about my master. Had a fit. She happened to be a person of note. I don't know exactly what she did, but she knew one of the higher ups at Black Enterprise magazine, pretty much the way she said, the man under the man. So she went to her friend and she was saying, that's not true what y'all said about Darius Cooks. Y'all got to do better. So she demanded that they retract what the article they had wrote about Darius Cooks being a scammer. Well, she made such a buzz that they were like, well, we're not just going to retract it because our reporter did an amazing job, and it's true per our reporter. She says, well, y'all have some 2-bit reporter on it. I want the editor-in-chief to work on this story and retract it. So they agreed because, again, whatever, relationship she had with them or whatever, they put the editor-in-chief on it, Kiara Morgan Smith. Kiara Morgan Smith, editor-in-chief at Black Enterprise magazine, wasn't that happy about the assignment because she like, this below my pay grade. This ain't what I do. This is what I got my reporters doing. On top of that, he's just a social media influencer, and I cover real celebrities. But she did what she needed to do for her bosses. When she did the article, she interviewed a multitude of people, Kiara, the Kitchenista, Sonny Anderson, I think Palmer was in it. I think a couple other people and myself all got interviewed for this article. She came back with her retraction with Darius Cooks, and Lakeithia thought it was gonna be. She like, master, I had contacted them and I told them they need to talk to you yourself and they need to retract it because this don't make no sense. So they do a whole live. We've done this before. If you haven't seen, you got to go look through our playlist. We covered this before. It'll be something titled with the Black Enterprise article. Probably one of the earlier videos. And we got the clip of the whole live of Darius Cooks talking with Lakeithia. And I thank you so much. He eating, smacking. I thank you so much. Because it was getting rough. And you did this and I didn't even ask you. Yeah, I did. I just told them you so transparent. So, long story short, article comes out. Well, no, it was supposed to be. So Darius Cooks thought it was going to be retracted. He thought he had gaslit Kia Morgan-Smith, the editor-in-chief of Black Enterprise magazine, so much so that she was just going to make this fluff piece and drag all of us with proof and receipts and make him look like, like he's looked to the people who love him. It didn't work in his favor. They doubled down. So that night, though, this was on Sunday, a Sunday night, before the article was coming out the next morning, he went on Larry Reid Live's show, and I call it that for a reason, because they sat there and had a little gab fest. Larry Reid did not do his due diligence, promoted a scammer to his followers, blocked anybody commenting, even Christy, who was Darius Cooks' former friend of over a decade and former manager of his restaurant. She was in the chat because Darius Cooks was lying and saying stuff. They were blocked. They were deleting her comments out of the chat during the live. Larry Reid would not read any comments from the chat at all. He was only reading comments from his Patreon, so people who pay. Those were the only comments he would read, and he was lily picking, which ones he would read. It was just a fluff piece. I got a little clip. So Darius Cooks went on there, spun the narrative. Larry Reid lie. Helped him do it because Larry Reid got his own issues as well. If y'all know, he's been accused of being a pedophile and some other stuff. And his ex-boyfriend of 15 years came out and outed him about his scampire that he got using a church, an online church. Whole thing. I'm just saying what's already out there. So anyway, the two scammers get together and they do the little live. Let's see. Poll question we're closing out. Have you seen the Darius Cooks interview with Larry Reid Live in 2021 claiming his innocence? Only 33% of y'all seen it. So tonight I was gonna, at the end of the show, do a reaction to it and us kind of go through the whole thing. Problem is I gotta do some creative stuff for copyright purposes. So I just didn't have the bandwidth. We'll probably do that one day next week. We're gonna do it eventually, if not one day next week. Well, we're going to listen to the whole thing. It's so full of gaslighting. It is so ridiculous. But we got a clip for tonight, the part that concerns the story of Kiara that we're talking about. So let me pull that up. 67% of you did not see it. Yeah, we got to take care of that. We got to get it at 100% of us all, that know. So, and it's not the video, just the audio that we're working with. So just so you know. And this is Darius Cooks giving his version of what happened between him and Kiara. And there's a little fluff in here too, I think. It's buffering, I think.
Yeah, because that's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is.
I appreciate that.
Of an empire.
I appreciate
your
that.
empire, like the church, like every industry that's in the Black community, built by Black women.
Yeah.
They are your customers.
Absolutely.
So when I saw the consistent phrasing, these narratives are they irritate me.
They are.
Because I know your motive.
Yeah.
Because you're going after the money.
Yep.
He does not respect.
I'm going to be stopping and starting to, we got to do creative things over here for copyright purposes. So you see that Larry Reid himself says, yeah, we know like your real motive is for the money. And Darius Cooks is like, yeah, we know that your followers is primarily women and your real motive is the money. He like, yeah. I don't think y'all should be saying that his real motive is money. It's true, but that's a little too much transparency, I think.
Respect Black women. He abuses Black woman, beat her up in his facility to get her out. Tell that story.
So, okay. So there's two different allegations. So there's one that
Yes, Deborah and everyone else, there is a pause in the picture for copyright purposes. I cannot play the video. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this may still be up on Larry Reid's, on his YouTube channel. So you can go over there if you want to watch the video. But over here, I will not be playing the video without enhancing it for copyright purposes. I cannot just play it.
Well, there's actually three. So one, I'm a rapist. Right?
Oh,
excuse.
I'm so sorry. I almost, just a little bit. It's Darius' fault. He said he want that same.
Yeah.
So he brought that spirit in him.
Brought the devil up in there.
Yeah. I mean, Bills. Another black man with a sexual allegation.
Yeah,
They're trying to Bill Cosby you.
I'm a rapist, even though I'm 100% openly gay.
So were you trying
and
to?
Everybody knows this.
So were you trying? No, I didn't find. I found out.
You found out, but you still know,
right?
So this is another one of Darius Cooks' gaslighting tricks and creating of the narrative, as he says, which means lying and gaslighting. No one has ever called Darius Cooks a rapist. No one has ever called him that. What people have said, which we've gone over here before, where I've shown you the tweets. Again, with all this stuff, I can't go down each rabbit hole because we'll never get through a show. But remember, for those of you who've been around, you can put yes in the chat or yes, I remember. I showed y'all the tweets of Darius Cooks talking about a woman out jogging at night, and that's how women get raped. Then him joking about the Bill Cosby thing and saying Shonda Rhimes was doing her thing and Bill Cosby raped me too. And then it was something else. So it was a few, and there was one about him talking about what did he say? Punching a woman in the face. It was a tweet. Can't remember the origins of that right now, but it's a one of him saying I should punch her in the face or something. So those are what people were referring to as it relates to Darius Cooks and the R word. Not saying he was one, but how he joked about it and disregarded women's experiences with it. He turns it to because the latter is the truth. He turns it into they calling me a rapist. No, girl, nobody called you. You're a little sassy. Nobody called him. I'm trying to take a different approach as we do commentary moving forward, but no one called Darius Cooks a rapist. They said he made fun of it and made light of it and was very insensitive towards it and said derogatory things about women as it pertains to that. That is what people have said. But that don't work for creating the narrative that he creates. So people be like, what? That don't make no sense.
So was you trying to rape puss or booty hole?
I don't.
And this is a preacher, y'all, supposedly a pastor talking like this. Was you supposedly raping puss or a booty hole? Huh? That sounds like some freak, some old nasty freak who just want that kind of information for their own pleasure.
I don't know, because we don't know who the victim is. So we have to figure out who the victim is in order to figure out what I was going after.
If this ain't some bullshit,
we got to figure out who the victim is. I don't know who I'm raping.
wait, you say
I don't know who I'm raping. I have no idea. I don't know.
Oh my!
So it was the rape allegation. That was one. It was the he doesn't like black women, and it was the I'm an abuser situation.
You see how he glosses over. Now the question he was asked was about attacking Kiara and throwing her out of his restaurant physically. He goes into these other pieces. Again, it's distraction. He's creating the narrative. He's taking you all around the bend, so you really forget at the end of the day what the conversation was really about. And then he's trying to set the tone for, see how they talking about all this other allegations. So when he tells the actual story of when he physically abused the woman, it'd be like, ooh, but I can't believe they lied and called him a rapist. No. Come with us. Don't be distracted by the flashing light over there, because that's just that girl making up something to distract you. Come on down here where we're talking about the facts. That's the purpose of all of that. And then notice when he talks about the not liking black women. That again is based in facts and not wanting black women to be his base. I've done the video a couple times where the segment where I've read to y'all the actual, well, it's been multiple situations, but the physical post where he wrote back in 2009 to one of his followers, black women are not my base. Y'all can't afford, y'all don't have husbands and can't afford $300 baby strollers and don't go to go buy cupcakes in the middle of the day. Y'all can't afford cupcakes. Black women don't eat cupcakes. Y'all not my base. Y'all not my market. But then those are the ones who invested in his cupcake gallery scam. and are the ones who have helped him build this scampire. Black women. So he don't like y'all. Y'all just are the ones where it's just like a pimp. Just like a pimp. Y'all the bottom bees. No, stop. Let me keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
So the rape, we don't know who the victim is.
Right.
They
can make up one now. They come up with one.
But let me see who it is first, so I can see if I like them. What's going on? I don't know. Idea. And not joking about rape, but.
And not joking about rape because he caught himself. You were just joking about it. Oh, let me see how they look because maybe I will. Not to be joking about rape. Well, we got documented proof that that's what you love to do. That's kind of your thing, publicly.
I'm joking mostly about
the accusation.
The accusation of me, especially with a woman. Come on.
Yeah.
Please, right? And I guess if...
Again, it never happened. Ask him for the receipts of when someone accused him of raping women. Ask him, where is it? Where is the proof? He makes these things up as a distraction.
She had me blocked for 7 years. Maybe she didn't know that everybody knows that I'm a sissy. I mean, I don't really know.
So in that, he was talking about somebody having him blocked for 7 years. I think he's referring to, at that point, maybe the kitchenista, trying to act as if she doesn't know he's gay. And it's they confused. That's why they calling me a grapist, because they don't know I'm gay. Gay men can be grapists too. That doesn't matter. It's about power. Grape is about the R word. I'm like, grape sounds too much like great, but the R word is about power, not so much the actual act. It's about power, control. And we know that Darius Cooks like to control everything, including the narrative.
How to put it, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows I'm openly gay.
But they'll come up with a man. Since you're going to say that now.
They'll come up with a man. So a man, so okay.
That's going to come up.
Okay, so I raped a man.
That's going to come up.
So, so that was one. Then it's the black women, right? Okay. Now I'm openly gay, first of all. So everybody I hang out with, all women, right? Yeah. She's laughing because every time we go somewhere, if it's a group, it's all women.
But see, that's another thing I noticed as a...
So because you have... so those people who are out there who have R-worded women, they don't have women in their lives. They don't have mothers, sisters, girlfriends, sometimes wives, sometimes. They can't have women attached to them because, somebody who's a R-wordist, they don't have women in their life. What sense do that make? And some of the flying monkeys are like, that don't make no sense. Master, you do have a lot of women around you. So that means, our word is they don't have women around them. What? Craziness.
There's this thing that people tried to create between black women and gay men.
Oh.
I mean, it is a thing. All that shit.
But it's impossible. Because I'm on live, I go on live a lot, and I don't go live to hold receipts. I go live because I like to commune with my followers, right? We did it on Periscope. We were live for, 5 years on Periscope till Periscope went away, and now we do it on Instagram. So whenever we're hanging out or...
Right, Charles is saying this was when Darius scamming was still just coming to light. I'm going to preface that and say to the public. Now, those on Lipstick Alley, those who had personal interactions, like groups of people who had personal interactions with Darius Cooks for the years leading up to that, there was hundreds, thousands of people who knew. The problem was it wasn't public, but this was during the time it went public. And it went public due to the kitchenista, having her platform, and then these publications getting involved with it. And yes, this was when it hit the public. But there was years of people outing him behind the scenes. They just didn't have platforms for the masses to listen. So it's not, he will tell the lie. It's crazy because he'll tell the lie that all of people didn't start trying to out him or expose him until his restaurants closed in 2019. No, early 2020. He know that's not true because he was in the exposing groups in Lipstick Alley fighting with them about exposing him back in like 2014. And then prior to that, there's stuff of him saying people were hating on him even earlier than that. And hating on him, because y'all know he calls the exposing groups the hate groups. Hating on him means exposing him for his dirty deeds. This is not new. It's just as new to a lot of y'all because It has now, he's done so much damage that he has a whole army of people that he's harmed, and they've mounted up. And now it's a war, a war of exposure.
Whenever I'm traveling, you know, all of my best friends that I do anything with are women, Black women.
Wow.
All of them. Vegas, Black women. I just came back from spending time with Kim, Black woman. Crystal was taking care of me while I had surgery the other day, Black woman.
So they come, but so that I see that them trying to come.
Sexy Trini is saying, I meant to say I unsubscribe. A snake turn on snakes turn on each other. I think Darius Cooks officially turned on Larry Reed a while back. Now he's been doing slick stuff. When Larry Reed controversies would come out, he would do little slick stuff. But I think recently he did something. I can't remember the details, but he did something where I was like, oh, now he's throwing Larry under the bus. It don't matter. People be having his back through his scams and like other scammers and stuff and other people with their own controversies. And as soon as something happened to them, he jumps on board to like help dig their graves. It's crazy. He has no loyalty to anyone, but he'll use people to protect himself.
After your base, your financial base, because the Black women are invested in what you're doing.
Maybe the Black women who don't follow me, right? But what I love is that the ones who do follow me are like,
they know
that's
you.
not Darius.
They know you.
Like, that doesn't even sound like him. We watch him all the time. He gives birthday parties for his friends.
But that's the reason why I didn't want you to talk about.
You're a great person because you give birthday parties to your friends. What? Criminals, people who have taken other people's lives don't have family and friends that they have celebrations with. That makes zero sense. 0 cents when you really use your common sense to say, because I have birthday parties for my friends, I can't be a criminal, I can't be a scammer, makes 0 sense. 0 cents.
About this, because I'm like, your folk don't need no explanation. They know.
Right,
you.
they do know, right. And that's been one of the saving graces of this whole situation, is the fact that my followers have said, no, Darius, we see what's going on, right? We know what's happening. We know you talk openly about sex. You talk openly about business. We talk about a bevy of things. So they know I'm super transparent and 100% open. What this whole narrative of not liking Black women, and I talk about my grandmother and being raised by my aunt. And if you read my first cookbook, Stories from My Grandmother's Kitchen, the stories are all about Black women in the book.
Yeah.
Every story in the book is about a Black woman.
But see, see, this is what I also look at as a spiritual attack, that aspect, because you sort of are paying homage to the Black woman who is the least,
Honored
in our nation. And for you to be honoring Black women, and your whole business is because of Black women, and then the people, Black women, really,
every story I tell is about upbringing, being raised by, my grandmother being raised by a Black woman.
So that's a strategy to me. So that's strategic.
You mean them coming after?
That's a strategic
Larry,
attack.
the whole thing has been strategy in some regard. You know what I'm saying? But I think I don't know. I just don't know why she would say that when there's no substantial proof, right? So the other thing is that I think everybody wants me to talk about is she might be saying that because of the incident that happened in my restaurant.
Right.
So there was a server who worked at the...
Okay, so now he's getting, I gave y'all a little fluff in the beginning, but now he's getting into the detail. Well, actually, Larry Reed asked him this question at literally the beginning of when I started playing this. Darius Cooks is now just getting to, after he has given all this fluff and all these distractions. So by the time he gets to talking about the story, the flying monkeys are confused. Their brains are overwhelmed. As some of y'all done probably checked out mentally. Like, oh, what was they just talking about? He did all of that to get to this question, to start answering this question that Larry Reed asked about 5 minutes, but 5 minutes and 48 seconds before this. Just getting to it.
At the restaurant. Now, 3 restaurants, 110 employees, right? So the servers and frontline workers don't report to me. I don't know them. I don't hire them. I don't train them. I don't fire them. I don't approve their time off. None of that, right? I have managers in place at all restaurants to handle all of this. So there was one.
Now, those pieces may be true to some degree. However, Darius Cooks fully controlled his payroll. He said it in other interviews. I just didn't have time to pull it today. But Darius Cooks has stated that he did not allow any of his managers to handle payroll in his restaurants. He took care of all of his finances, which means that Kiara's payroll was to be paid by Darius Cooks. Hold on to that, because you might be wondering, well, if the manager was in charge of all that, how's she get into it with Darius Cooks? Well, Darius Cooks is the one who would be running payroll. He would be the one, when she didn't get paid, that she needed to talk to, because the manager, like, well, that's out of my hands. I submitted your hours. I don't know why you're still not getting paid. That kind of stuff.
Friday.
She went to the source.
I was just doing a spot check. I was in town, went to Soul Crab, Atlanta. And when I walked in, it was probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it wasn't a huge crowd, but we had a couple of tables full. And it was a payday. And the girl said, as soon as I walked in, right, she says, where's my mother effing check? That's what my mother effing money. That's what she said as soon as I walked in. And I'm looking around like, hey, I just walked in the door. What are you talking about, right? So I don't know what's happening with what's going on with her. But she was so irate, she wouldn't stop. Like, she just kept like going. And she was talking to customers saying, this what the fuck I gotta deal with? I gotta deal with this bullshit. And I'm like, I was talking to my director of operations. Who is this? What is the problem? What's going on? Right. So when I realized that it wasn't calming down, so I called the police. Oh, okay. I picked my phone up and I called College Park Police because she wasn't stopping. Okay. How old was she? I don't know. She young. You don't know her name? I don't. Can I say her name? Of course. Kiara. Okay. Either Kiara.
Now Darius Cooks is concerned with decorum, with calling people's names out. Now, this is the same person who will post a DL man's picture on his social media for millions of people to look at, has said all kind of people will dox ex-follower, will dox a follower who had a complaint about an order or a product not received, and put their full information, first, last name, doxing their location, putting their children's pictures out. But now he want to ask if it's okay to say Kiara's name in this. It's gaslighting. Gaslighting.
Or Kiara. Okay. One of the two. But I don't even know how old the girl is. Young, I would say early 20s, like late teens, early 20s, I would have to guess.
So was there a problem with her check? It was Friday, she didn't get a check that day, or was it a delayed check? What was going on?
The real reason she didn't get paid is because she didn't complete her onboarding. Okay. So when employees get hired.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I'm thinking about with some sense.
Yeah, but the people that's watching, because one of the questions I get was, why was she allowed to work if she didn't complete her onboarding, right? So we have two separate systems. We have one called Toast, that's the POS system that allows you to take orders. Yeah. The other system is called Gusto, that's the payroll system. Those two don't sync up. Those are two different systems. So we can give you access day one. If you come in and you're an amazing server and we need the help right away, we're gonna put you on the floor. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna give you a code and now you're in the system, just like any other job, and then you have a deadline to complete your onboarding. I don't manage this girl, so I don't know why her onboarding wasn't complete. I wasn't a part of any of that. I just know that it wasn't done. If you don't complete your onboarding, how am I supposed to calculate your taxes? I don't know your I-9 information. Right. I don't know your W-4 information, your direct deposit information. I don't know any of that because you didn't do your part, right?
So it's an employee's fault that they were allowed to work illegally, because that goes against labor laws, for you to have an employee there for a month. Multiple payrolls have been run, and you're not paying them. And you saying, well, because you didn't turn in, I don't have your onboard and stuff. Why are you allowing them to work without it? I have owned multiple businesses and had employees. I've worked in corporate America in management, executive positions. I've onboarded more people than I can quantify for you. And I have never allowed an employee to start even their first day or first hour of the day without starting to get that onboarding paperwork done. If nothing else, because I've had people start and work the first day and not return for whatever reason, get a new job or they lazy and don't want to work, whatever it is. I still got to pay them for that day. So I got to make sure I got their information so I could pay them. But she worked there a whole month. So every day y'all letting her come in there. I think she was a waitress. Go clock in, put on her apron, smock, whatever she got on, grab her clipboard or whatever, go on the tables, wiping off tables, back and forth, busting everything. And you ain't saying, right before you go on lunch, I'm gonna need you to complete this. Or, hey, before you clock in today, I need you to finish this. Could you get these papers signed? Or before you leave today, make sure you sign them. Tomorrow I ain't gonna be able to have you start. Weeks. But it's her fault. Oh, okay. Also, this is a lie. Let's start with that. But I'm just going with this creative narrative. If we go with Darius Cooks' creative narrative, it's still some bogus business operations going on. It should have never been allowed to happen. But the reason why, and you can look at it and be like, this just makes no sense. What was his manager doing? He's saying he didn't even hire her, this and that. And you're like, this is his manager that incompetent? No, Crooks is lying to y'all. That's what's happening right here. Kiara will tell us the truth.
From my understanding, she was told several times by her manager that until you complete.
To my understanding, she was told several times. So he wasn't even a part of the process, but he making it her fault. Again, him creating the narrative, though. He gonna have us all over the place, but we're gonna get to the truth. Hope y'all don't get dizzy on our way to the truth.
This, you can't get paid, right? She's since been paid. And I think she was only owed about like $85. So she was a server and she got cash tips. Right. So as a courtesy, I'm supposed to like take your cash tips and take the taxes out of and charge you for taxes. I didn't do that for any of my cash tip servers because you're already, basically living off cash tips. And I'm only paying you $2.13 an hour. Right.
Which is proper.
Right. Well, that's the law. Right. So what I did was I let her keep her cash tips. So for her to say, I didn't get paid anything, you kept all of your cash tips. You weren't charged tax for any of this, right?
So did y'all notice that? Y'all got to pay attention. You got to be listening with your third ear because she be taking y'all on this lie coaster. Not a roller coaster, but a lie coaster. Taking you all around the world with this lie. He started that statement by saying, well, she got paid. She's not owed any more money. Kiara, 2 years later, was still saying she was owed money. She never got paid. Then Darius Cooks goes on to tell you that she was also receiving cash tips. So maybe that was how she was, because some people may say, why was she working there for a whole month and not getting paid at all? Well, she was able to live off of her cash tips. Darius Cooks is telling you, oh, she got paid. You know why? Because she had her cash tips. And I should have been charging her taxes on it. And at the end, I ain't charged her no taxes. So she walked away with the $85. So she got paid. No. Her tips are not the same as her wages. That's a different category on your W-2. The tips are not the wages. So in fact, she still hadn't been paid. And that was he lying. Do y'all see that he lied? It's crazy. Just lying. Oh, it was so many lies in this whole thing. We only listened to one segment. I think the interview was maybe an hour, 20 minutes or something. A lie after lie, unchecked lie after unchecked lie. Larry Reed just hyping it up. A supposed alleged man of God promoting Satan's work. Just disgusting to me. Poll question we're closing out. Did you ever believe Darius Cooks' version of this story? 4% of you say yes. 96% of you say no. I know some of y'all fingers be slipping and all that, so I'm gonna just go with that. I ain't gonna beat y'all up. It's been a while. I ain't loved on y'all in a while. I made some of y'all feel neglected, so y'all notice I'm being a little kinder. Y'all getting a softer, gentler Vell. Oh, I thought I had to push play.
Anyway. So I called the police because I realized it wasn't stopping. And the police peeped game as soon as he got there. And he told her, because she at this point we were outside. So he told her, he said, if you go back inside, I'm going to arrest you for trespassing. She would not stop. She went inside. He told me he said, give me a second.
He didn't arrest her for trespassing?
He did. No, yeah. Okay. He told me to hold on.
So there's a receipt.
Yeah, they went in and got her.
I ain't seen that one.
Yeah.
Darius Cooks is telling, now hold on to this. I hope, I should have told y'all, get out your notepads. Some of his lies are so elaborate and there's so many twists and turns that if you literally aren't writing it down and don't have a whole timeline template that I got over here that's got everything in it, all his decades of scamming, I got timelines. You literally have to write this ish down to keep up with it. He's now telling you here, again, this was 2021. This was 2 years after the incident. 2 years after the incident, Darius Cooks is figuring if ain't nothing came out by now, they ain't got nothing. So I get to make up whatever narrative I want, and ain't nothing y'all gonna be able to prove that I'm a liar. What he didn't understand is how karma and God works, because 5 years later, here we go with the goddamn mugshots. He is saying that Kiara was drugged out of the restaurant by the police, and he just said that she was arrested and that there's documented proof that she was arrested. I'm gonna replay that part. Just a liar.
Stop. She went inside. He told me he said, give me a second.
He didn't arrest her for trespassing?
He did. No, yeah. Okay. He told me to hold on.
So there's a receipt.
Yeah, they went in and got her.
I ain't seen that one.
Yeah, of course you didn't, right, because she ain't the one being lambasted. I am.
She ain't got no money.
Yeah.
So Kiara was arrested. This is Darius Cooks' narrative. Kiara is the one who was arrested. Kiara is the one with this, I guess, a mugshot we should be seeing. Where is it? Is this like E-Class all over again? We still ain't seen the E-Class video of E-Class supposedly attacking Darius Cooks, yanking his phone. The FBI was on their way to take the fingerprints on the phone. E-Class was about to have a warrant out for his arrest, or had some warrant out for his arrest. Y'all, when that happened, was that January or December or November? That was months ago, 6 months, more than 6 months ago. Where is the video that you claim that Corey has that I know doesn't exist? I got sources. It don't exist. We will never see it because it doesn't exist. I dare you to show it to us. I dare you to show it to us.
Ain't got no following online, no crowd to chase.
Of course. So the police arrested her, put her in the car, booked her.
The police arrested Kiara, put her in the car, and booked her. I think he's talking about what happened now. Oh, she's so delusional. Oh.
For trespassing. And what happened was she yelled to the police officer, he put his motherfucking hands on me. So the police officer looked at me and was like, did you? And I was like, I don't know. It all happened so fast. Let's go review.
That's what Bill Cosby said. He said, I don't know.
Well, it happened so fast. You don't remember. So I said, let's go review the cameras. So we go to the office, we get the camera, review the camera. I did put my hands on her. Let me tell you what I did. She was like in my face. I put my hands on her shoulder, turned her toward the door so we can go outside and talk outside. That's the extent of the abuse. So when the police officer saw it, because he pointed to his body cam, when he saw it, he said, just walk with me.
Yeah, I have a police friend. He had to do that to protect his job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, because if somebody complains that you abuse them,
domestic.
Right? But when he saw the playback, he was like, "You weren't trying to." I'm like, "I told you I wasn't trying to hurt her." Right. So he said, "Just walk with me." So the picture that's being floated around is me walking side by side with the police officer, right? So,
which meant nothing to me when I saw. I said, "Okay."
Right, because if I'm being arrested for abuse, where's the handcuffs? Right. I'm twice the size of the police officer.
Is there a record?
There's zero.
So that's the picture that Darius Cooks is referring to. That is a picture that Kiara took as Darius Cooks and the officer were walking to the police station. That was, from what I'm hearing, I don't know exactly because I don't live there and I've only driven by the restaurant like once. But supposedly this is located like behind the restaurant or something on the next block. So they ended up walking to the police station. We'll get into that. I ain't gonna go too deep.
Well, see, that's how come.
Zero.
Is there a record?
There's zero.
Well, see, that's how come.
There's zero record of this incident and Darius Cooks being booked. Zero. However, we're here today. Again, remember though, Darius Cooks creates the narrative, aka lies, because he's a pathological sociopathic liar, creates the narrative. So he's telling us back in 2021 from an incident that happened in January of 2019, because no proof had come out in that went 2-year window. He like, oh, I'm good. They ain't got nothing because ain't nobody brought up nothing. This girl, she getting a little too full of herself. She's so used to pulling tricks and stunts. She ain't had common enough sense to check herself to say, oh, could somebody be able to pull this up on me? And here we are today. She said there was no proof because it never happened.
Zero.
I don't understand why these folk just...
Zero proof. Said it twice. Lying with confidence. We're almost done with this clip. Then we're getting into the next part.
Why these folk just... You know what? This is what I want to say to everybody that watch stuff online. But I mean, the president done this. We see this at every level. These narratives and lies get spent online, and folk read them and believe them.
And I think that's what it is. It is
lies online. People see them and they believe them. We're talking about two people who have created false personas right in front of you, and y'all got followers who believe everything you say. Yet there's plenty of proof that both y'all are flat out liars. Yes. It's an epidemic out there. Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of cult-like behavior and liars and gaslighters out there running these social media platforms. Influencers who are misguiding people. Yes, we're looking at two examples. Yes, I agree. Too bad the people who listening to them don't realize that they are the ones following the crazy people. I love that. Sock Snob says, men on film. Hated it. I love it. That's exactly what it reminds you of.
I can never do anything right? Because I am the more dominant, the more successful, the bigger physically. So I can literally dot every I and cross every T, and you're still going to find fault with me.
Because I don't care that it don't matter how much you say you're a sister. You said that.
Right.
You a black man.
Right. There you go. Exactly. Exactly.
That is what is going to be. And to see, and I really very passionate about this, to see a black man be attacked.
Yeah.
You know, and your story, what you told different battles and stuff.
I hate when they do these sort of things too. Oh, I hate to see they become victims. Oh, I hate to see a black man be attacked. Well, if the black man is an attacker, then he needs to be attacked back. We ain't talking about no innocent people here. We ain't talking about nobody just out here trying to save the world and love on people. We're talking about a predator. So yes, black, white, purple, indifferent, I don't care. Male, female, gender identified, whatever. I don't care. Non-binary. You gonna get it. You gonna get attacked back. Don't mean nothing because you're a black man to mean we can't say nothing about you when you hurting and harming people out here. Get the fuck out of here with that stupid shit.
And then you still doing it through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Man, that should be celebrated.
But it's not, because the bigger story, the more salacious story is he's an abuser. Right. I mean, you call me putting my hands on your shoulder, that's abuse?
And you're a scammer. Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay, so that gets into the next piece. We're gonna do a watch on that because I also want to chop it down because they got some fluff in there. And Larry likes to talk about himself, so there's quite a bit of that unnecessary stuff in there too, and how much money he's made. That was what they were bonding over, money. So then Darius Cooks, of course, again, when he puts out a narrative, when he's creating his narrative, he's systematic about it. It's not just one thing. It's not just I'm gonna go on Larry Reed's show and I'm going to lie and gaslight and Larry's going to assist me. That's not the whole sum of what the plan is. He's going to do that. He's also then going to be on his IG lies and he's going to be lying to his flying monkey followers. He's going to be love bombing them as he was doing today. Now I haven't. I don't know if y'all let me know in the chat for sure though. I have yet to hear him address these mugshots. Hear of him addressing the mugshots. What I have seen though, well, I caught the tail end of it, was him love bombing them earlier, a little while before I went live, where he was reading like talking about therapy and reading, I guess, his therapy notes and some I only caught the last 4 minutes. When I heard it, when I seen it, I said, oh, she is love bombing them, setting them up to feel sorry for her, so that as they start to see the truth of this, they're going to still side with her, because they're going to feel like, oh, but he's been through a lot, and this can't really be true. And if he did touch her, it wasn't like they making it out to be. It was, he's been through a lot, and she probably triggered him. All of that. He's setting it up, setting the scene. So if he really has to address it, and it becomes a thing, he can they're gonna disregard it. Oh, this ain't the same, right? Will Dudley says he's the victim. He has to become the victim. So I don't think he's addressed this. I haven't seen it, but he's planting the seeds of victimization from his perspective. So that as he's watering it with these lies, the IG lies, he's indoctrinating them, and he's watering. Each time he go live, he watering, joking with them. He'll be talking about old TV shows, playing music for them, reminiscing on his childhood and things they have in common, and when he went to California and fun places to go in California so he can bond with them in New York when I lived in New York, doing all of these things to connect with them so they feel like he's a friend, so it feels more personal. It feels like now you're not just attacking or exposing this social media influencer. You exposing somebody who's close to me. It's like a brother, like a cousin, like an uncle, like my gay best friend. Oh, she got this thing on lock. She's been doing it for over a decade. Well over a decade, indoctrinating these people. When you really pay attention and study it, like many of us do, we know the cycle. And when I saw that, I chuckled, because I said, oh, she love bombing them right now, because she know this is happening. She's going to ignore it for as long as she can. But they going to start asking questions, and then she's going to finally address it, because she's creating her narrative. She got to create one that's going to work. So she's thinking it through, writing her script. Then she's going to finally address it, because they not going to let her just let this go. They going to keep asking. She's going to address it. She's going to make it flip the narrative. It ain't going to be nothing like what you would think. Like, oh, man, this is going to be like Diddy. No, he's better than Diddy. He ain't finna do no sad little video and not mention the names. He gonna do something way more creative and become the victim in the end. Had them sitting there, oh, my Darius got me tearing up. Oh, Darius. Oh, it's such a hard life for you. Oh, what's the discount code? I just want to do something for you. She good. Oh, she good. So then she gonna do that. Then they ain't gonna let it go though, because it's gonna be new people coming in. It's gonna be people got more questions. It's gonna be people who like, I know what you're saying, and I know I'm supposed to believe and trust everything, but it just still don't make sense. And I've been through some stuff. My sister was abused by a man, and he just lied and gaslighted. You kind of reminded me of that kind of stuff, master. So I just got a question. Then you're gonna be like, bitches, I done told y'all I ain't gonna talk about this shit no more. Y'all get out my business. I'm blocking you bitches. Block. You motherfuckers mention it one more time, and you will not be a part of this community. And then they're gonna shape up. It's the way it works. And then he gonna come back the next day or later, a few hours later, usually the next day. He usually go off like that late at night. They have to sleep on it. It's like giving your kid a whooping and send him to bed. That's what he do. They'll come back the next morning. He'll be making breakfast or something. He gonna go into his regular grift. So maybe he'll be at his warehouse, or I'm sitting here processing orders, or usually cooking, because that's kind of where they can bond. Then he maybe got his good, he got some Anita Baker playing it. Oh, no. I forgot, y'all. He got to get on the computer, the piano, and play some horribly keyed Anita Baker and Stevie Wonder and Luther Vandross. He love bomb him back. It's like an abuser. He gonna curse him out, call him all kind of bitches and hoes, and block every other one of them. And then the next morning, it's gonna be like none of it happened. And he gonna love bomb them and make some baked macaroni and cheese, some baked macaroni and cheese and collard greens. That's what they like. I'm not making this. I know it's funny, but this is true. We've watched it so many times. If y'all have seen it, multitude of times, say yes, Vell, in the chat. I know I see CJ there, CJ in the scene. I see Steven there. I know. Alice, we know. Right, Renee S said, or some church lady cabbage. Right, that's the name of it, church lady cabbage. It's his grift. And it's so predictable at this point. But then they don't see it. It's a case study. It's truly a case study. So this is Darius Cooks. He's gone on the Larry Reed Live show. He then created his narrative. Now he has to. The other piece of it is you got to be repetitive. Anytime you're indoctrinating someone, like training, anytime you're training, like you're training a dog. Train a dog, you don't just do it one time. You don't say heel one time and give him a little snack. You got to do it multitude of times. You got to teach him, tap him on the nose and all that. Well, some people say that's abuse, but you know how we used to do it. That's what he does. So he's going to keep telling this Kiara story in his version a multitude of times. For once, everybody not hearing everything, but also he's training flying monkeys. Madison told us this before. I already know how I can do this like a script now. So this is him at some point retelling the Kiara story, his version.
Put my hands on her shoulder because she was by the front door to move her to the front door to move her out. That's the only touching I did. Just FYI. That's the abuse. The abuse was me putting my hands on her shoulder to take her outside. So when the police finally comes, we're outside.
Now that's his version of the story that he just put his hand. So again, recreating the narrative. I just put my hands on her shoulders. That's it. And she claiming abuse. No. But that's the narrative you need to put out there and you keep repeating. So every time he tells the story, he'll talk about putting his hands on her shoulder. Wait till we get Kiara's version of it. And I see Charles is saying, just like he told the story with Miss Mel every other night. Right. The same thing. He creates a narrative, creates a lie, and then he keeps retelling that story. The same thing with my story, the food truck story. It goes into the food truck story and he tells it almost the same way. Like all the main points are there every single time. I don't know. And then they be like, you tell it the same way every time. That means it ain't a lie. What? That means it's rehearsed so he don't forget the points. I can tell the lunch machine story 50 times and it's going to be a little different every time. Not because it's not true, but because I'm remembering different facts, because I might go into more detail. I've told the story a couple times. It took me 3 live streams of hours to tell it. He tell our story in about 35 minutes. And that's with him embellishing stuff. And see, you know what I think the problem is with Vell, because I don't call him Vell. I don't know where y'all get this Vell thing from. But with Vell, you know what I think it is. Now, I ain't never said what I think, nothing, because I got proof. I ain't got to say what I think. What I think it is, and y'all know that I was on the internet for years. I was famous on the internet. And he had to be seeing it. I'm everywhere. You can't even avoid it. So he had to be seething. He had to be just upset to see how successful I was on the internet. Nigga, I wasn't even on the internet. I was living a real life. Wasn't even on the internet. Didn't even have no Instagram. Wasn't even on Twitter. I had a Twitter. I learned how to use Twitter in 2021 when I found out you were a scammer and found out about the hashtag Darius Cooks. And I was like, oh, there's some good shit over here. Let me learn how to use this. That's when I started using Twitter. I knew nothing about all this stuff about him. But his delusional mind, he is so self-important that he thinks that I spent 10 years worrying about what some fat old scamming friend I had did was up to. Why? I didn't even know he had become a infamous scammer. I had no idea. None. I really would have enjoyed still not knowing, but hell, there's a reason and a season for everything. So I was supposed to be here, obviously. Because only I can tell your story like this.
She's still inside. She goes back inside. Okay? This is a good 10 minutes done elapsed. She inside talking to customers. You see this? This what the fuck I gotta deal with. I'm not lying to you. Okay? The same person that called me an abuser, this is her act. This is her action. Keep listening, it gets better. So the police comes. He said, what's going on? I said, I explained what's happening. He said, is that her? Because he sees her still inside going crazy. I said, yeah, that's her. So he asked her to come out. She wouldn't come. So he grabs her and pulls her outside. She going off, going crazy. And the police officer is like telling her, ma'am, stop talking for a moment. And she just would not stop, right? So I'm finna go get my shit out this motherfucking restaurant. He said, do not go back into that restaurant. I'm telling you, do not go back. If you go into that restaurant, I'm going to arrest you. Who goes into the restaurant? The girl who says I abused her. Who gets arrested? Who's in handcuffs? The girl who goes into the restaurant.
So now this is the second time. Now there are, multitude of times, but this is what I got for y'all tonight. Second time we seeing him saying Kiara was arrested because of this. Because she was upset because she had not been paid in a month, and you come waltzing your burnt walrus. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to back it up a little bit. You come waltzing your tail up in there and acting like you did own the place, but you know what I'm saying? The airs that she has about herself. Like she think that I spent 10 years watching her on the internet when I didn't even know what the hell she was up to. She was out of sight, out of mind. But just like she think I spent 10 years paying attention to what she was doing when she was scamming people on the internet, she thinks she's walking in with that sort of energy. And Kiara's like, you so important, but you owe me a couple $100. Give me my money, you burnt walrus. Scam pie, give me my money. You so important, you so rich, just give me my effing money. And he's saying because she was upset, she's the abuser. Now, she ain't touch him, but because she was upset, she's the abuser. Because she was fed up with the games, she's the abuser. She had a nerve enough to stand up for herself. She's the abuser. Not the person who put his hands on another human being without their permission, but the person who had enough gumption to speak up for themselves. That's the abuser. In her world, Darius Cooks' world, because he wants to control people and get over on people, yes, that's an offense. How dare you? On top of that, from my source, they were saying, now there's so much more to this, so much more that we will be providing. Kiara, what pissed Darius Cooks off was that Kiara was, yes, going off, saying, see, that's the problem, and you ain't giving my money and blah, 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 and this and that. And she was like, and I'll tell y'all what's really going on. So she's saying this stuff out loud for customers to hear and stuff, that the restaurant is nasty in the back, and if y'all saw this or that, and he don't pay people. And so she's now spilling the tea. That's what upset him. She was outing him and the toxic behavior and the BS that happens behind the scenes. She was outing because she's like, if you're not going to pay me, I owe you nothing. I don't owe you professionalism because you're not professional. You haven't paid me in a month and keep playing games with me. You come up in here and you still acting like you can't just give me my money. So I'm going to let it all air out. That's what upset him. That's what enraged Darius Cooks to grab her. And do you think with her doing all that, we've seen him go off over a mop. We've seen him go off on his followers because they gave him instructions on how to extend a mop stick. And he cursed them out and hung up on them. And if he could have grabbed them by the neck and pushed him against the wall and strangled him with the mop handle, he would have. He just couldn't get to him. So are we to believe that a person with that sort of energy grabbed her calmly by the shoulders and was like, please leave my establishment, please? This is not the place for this, please. Really? Really?
So he arrests her for trespassing. So she says to him, to the officer, he put his motherfucking hands on me. So the officer, who has his camera on, he said, did you? I said, tell me.
So that's the part it gets cut off because it's a clip from one of our coalition people on Twitter. But that's where he goes into saying he tells the officer, well, I don't really know. Everything was happening so fast, which means you blacked out, which means you did not calmly grab her by the shoulders and push her towards the door. You blacked out. You saying you don't even remember what you did. So how you don't remember what you did, but you describing what you did? Huh? So he then tells the officer, we can go to the camera and look and see what actually happened during the incident. The officer sees it, and then he's like, oh, you got to come with me. We got to walk to the station. Kiara, meanwhile, is the person taking the picture of them walking to the station. So how was she arrested? When have you ever seen somebody be arrested and be able to take pictures? Huh? If she was handcuffed, how'd she take that picture? Huh? How's she taking a picture with a, huh? You're lying. Your story ain't adding up. So that's Darius Cooks, the short of his version. There's like other clips out here of him gaslighting. We've done enough of that. I'm suffocating from all the gas. Now we have Kiara's story. Hold on, my assets a little out of order because I was rushing for y'all. I didn't want to have y'all wait no longer. I done had y'all wait, 2 weeks or something? Some of y'all act like I've been gone 3 months. Vell, did you quit? You quit YouTube? No. Follow me on my other platforms. They are, my Linktree link is pinned in the comment section above, where you can follow me. Like I said, I'm always on Patreon, and I spend a lot of time also on Instagram, and I'm trying to get a little bit more better with spending time in our Facebook group. But I got a lot of platforms. So when you don't see me over here, join me over on the other platform. That way, when I don't post for 3 days, y'all don't think I change careers. Okay, so we have the beautiful Kiara. Now, mind you, this happened again. For those of you who joined in a little late, this happened in 2019, January 25th of 2019. Kiara was in her early 20s. Now we're 5 years later. I don't know her exact age, but 5 years later. But that is Kiara. So what I'm gonna do to do Kiara's account of it, because I don't have like a video of her giving an interview or anything like that. Who knows? Maybe I don't know. Maybe she will be interested in interviewing. Maybe she just want to be, maybe she's done with it. This was 5 years ago. But either way, what I'm gonna do is go through her actual tweets of her describing what went down from her perspective, and then I'll be adding the receipts here or there. And this was her account that she was giving back in June of 2021. So that was 2 years after the incident. This was around the time where the Kitchenista was going hard on Darius Cooks on Twitter, being relentless for like months of exposing him with receipts and all of those things. And out of that, Kiara got in touch with another person in the coalition and connected with the Kitchenista. And so that's kind of how we found out about Kiara on the public side. So Kiara first tweet, it reads, "This man is a con artist. I was a server at his seafood restaurant in Atlanta, and he got arrested for putting his hands on me after I had a fit after he didn't pay me after working for him for almost a month. I still never got paid." This was her post back in June 12th of 2021. The incident happened on January 25th of 2019. 2 years later, she was still saying that she had not been paid. However, Darius Cooks, during the same time period, was on the Larry Reid Live show, as we saw, lying, talking about he had paid her. She has no reason to lie about that. She got paid. She would have just went about her business. Then somebody's tweet got deleted, but obviously their account got suspended, so I'm not unable to see what their original tweet was. But Kiara's response was, trust me, you were better off with plastic utensils. So I think that's the person saying that they went to the restaurant and ended up being being served with plastic utensils. And she's like, you're better off because the dishes weren't clean, basically. But Darius Cooks does his slanderous black restaurant reviews and talks about people with a little food particles on plates. And I ain't saying you got to accept that, but you also should have some level of grace for it, since your dish was so freaking nasty, you had to give plastic utensils. And you can blame it on your staff and not if your facility was your restaurant was ran properly, because he don't get no grace to the owners of these other restaurants if their staff isn't, not up to par. So we ain't giving you no grace. But yeah, he about to go to Bali and think he couldn't even run 3 restaurants in a country he was born and raised in. How he gonna run one in a country he can't even speak the language? He's an idiot. Oh, he's an idiot. So I think the person, somebody might have been asking when she started. She said January. She says, I filled out 3 payroll papers with all of my important information on it, social security numbers and all that. He somehow kept losing them. This is Kiara. Now, I know the name ain't matching. Well, if you look at her handle, it's different. Y'all know how people do on social media. I tell a lot of y'all, don't use y'all real names. Some of y'all still do it. Kiara is saying she filled out the paperwork 3 times in that month. And Darius Cooks, because he was the one doing the payroll, I told y'all. I got video footage of him saying he's the only one who did his payroll for his restaurants, any of his businesses. She's confirming this. He's the one that was getting that paperwork. He said he kept losing them. Keep in mind, that makes sense. Well, he's probably gaslighting her too. Probably didn't have the money and was trying to float her. But he also could have legitimately been forgetting and losing her paperwork, because during that time, Darius Cooks was also doing his Dining with Darius Cooks events. He was traveling the country. The three restaurants, 2 in Atlanta, 1 in Chicago, then traveling throughout the country doing the Dining with Diarrhea events. Makes sense. You all over the place. You keep forgetting and losing her paperwork. So then a month into it, when she like, okay, when I'm gonna get paid? Now, it was Friday. People had got paid again. She like, another pay period I don't get paid? And you keep acting like you don't have my paperwork that I've given you 3 times now. Which one of us ain't gonna snap? Especially because at that point you done. You're not paying me, so I'm not gonna keep working here. So F you, and I'm about to let you know F you. Like at that point you done. Makes sense. Makes sense. So then she goes on to say she worked at the Soul Crab Atlanta restaurant, and it's shut down now. We know that. All of them are shut down. All of them are shut down. Okay. It says, then the girl who was training me, this is Kiara still, then the girl that was training me warned me to keep all my receipts because he's famous for shorting you. So he's famous for shorting you on your checks. How many of us believe that? I ain't doubting it. She had to call the police on him one time because he didn't pay her. Kiara is saying that the woman who trained her said, he's a slick one. Oh, he's a slippery snake. Make sure you keep all your documents and your receipts so you get your full pay. He's so trifling that I had to call the police on him, not the manager, but Darius Cooks, for not paying her. This is a different employee. Now remember, this stuff is happening in 2019, because that's when Kiara started. January of 2019, Darius Cooks, people didn't know on a massive level until, again, the restaurants closed. What was it? Beginning of February of 2020 rather. People didn't know on a mass level. So these people wouldn't run into their social media to say, he got me, he not paying me. And so people be like, where the receipts, where the receipts? Everybody don't operate through life feeling like I got to record and go on social media and screenshot this and screenshot that. people have gotten to that point, especially when it comes to Darius Cooks. Well, now they keeping receipts because she got a history that the masses are aware of. But back then, these just regular employees who just think they happen to work for a man who happens to have multiple restaurants and happens to be a social media influencer. That's new to many people. They not knowing they working for a scammer. They just like he trifling. Kiara wasn't the only one. And I mean, I've heard other stories. Kiara not the only one, and this whoever the other young lady, not the first ones to say that Darius Cooks was trifling and paying and all of that. I knew stories from the people who worked with him at the Cupcake Gallery in Chicago in 2009. Crazy. He's always been getting over on people, employees and all. She goes on to say, yes, he picked me up. Okay, so this is about the actual attack. Now, Darius Cooks, as we've seen, claims that although he blacked out and had to tell the officer when he said, well, did you put your hands on him, on her rather, Darius Cooks says, I don't really know. It's so much happening so quickly. Well, we can go look at the camera so we can see what I did. You don't remember because you blacked out. But now the story is, I grabbed her calmly by the shoulders and I just asked her to leave and pushed her towards the door a little bit. Why you didn't tell the officer that? Why y'all had to go look at the camera? Because you could have said, no, all I did was grab her by the shoulders. I touched her shoulders gently and was asking her calmly to leave. No, you had to say, oh, shit, I don't remember. I blacked out. Let's go look at the cameras because I don't know if I touched it or not. That means you blacked out. But we got to go with your account now. I just kind of, boy. So Kiara says, now, because mind you, who version we'll go with? Kiara's, when Darius Cooks got a mugshot from this incident, or Darius Cooks' version where, because I ain't never seen nobody get a mugshot for touching somebody's shoulders. If that was the case, I would have probably a life sentence. You know how many shoulders I've touched in my life? All by consent, though. Don't get me wrong. All by consent. I didn't know you can go to jail for touching a shoulder. So Kiara says, yes, she's responding to people because people are in her thread asking questions and stuff. So she's responding to someone and saying, yes, he picked me up and tried to drag me out of the restaurant. These two women that were dining there had to stop him. He had the nerve to call the police on me, but he ended up getting arrested because it was on video. Now, Darius Cooks, his lie is that Kiara got arrested. However, Kiara, again, is the one that we see taking the photo of Darius Cooks being hauled off. How's she arrested but taking a picture of you being the one going to the police station? What? The lies, the lies, the lies. It's the lies for me. Okay, then she goes on to say, the two black women that I was talking to when he grabbed me, got up, said, oh no, we're not doing that. You will not put your hands on her, and had to physically pry his hands off of me. Now, I've told y'all this part of the story before because I remember this. Why Darius Cooks ain't mentioned that? In his version of the story, you never once hear an account of his customers having to intervene. Two black women. Not only, and so you have to pay attention when people are telling the truth versus a lie is going to be an overview of a situation. They'll never really give details. She's giving not only details about the women that Darius Cooks never mentions in his version, she gives a quote of what they said, which makes sense. Could y'all imagine y'all in a restaurant or something and y'all see a manager, a big old walrus built 6'4", 300 plus pound walrus hovering over a small woman and grabbing her? You and your friends probably be like, oh no, we're not doing that. You will not put your hands on her. Sounds about right to me. Thank you, Kiara, for putting this all down in details. Then someone commented, I just have to say, I don't have it on y'all side, but someone commented and said, I know you're not lying because he threatened to try to fight me over a Facebook post. He hates black women and has no problem trying to put his hands on us. Well, we clearly see this. And lying on y'all on top of that. Put his hands on y'all and then lie on y'all and try to become the victim. Horrible. Kiara goes on to say, what alarmed me is the fact that he was so comfortable doing so with a restaurant full of people watching it all go down. Another detail. See, like, I got evidence because there was a whole crowd of people, and I was shocked that he would put his hands on me. But that's how emboldened that Darius Cooks has become over time. He's gotten away with so much. It's, again, I've compared it to a spoiled toddler who be throwing tantrums, and parents let them slap adults and bite them, and nobody correct them. And then they get worse and worse. Then they start calling them out, calling them bitches, the whole F you, get your hand on me, bitch. And they 2 years old. That's when you don't teach them discipline. Darius Cooks is like that. He's like a toddler that ain't never got no discipline in his life. And now we watching him as a big old 42-year-old looking like a 68-year-old man child. Scampa. Sitting here running amok across the world. Not just America now. The world. The world. Whoa, Jesus, bless us. So then Kiara goes on to say, the cops never touched me. Darius Cooks said he put her in the car. The cop put her in the car, handcuffed her. Although, again, I'm confused at how she handcuffed and taking pictures of you at the same time. She says, all of this is false. It doesn't even make sense. So they arrest me just to take the handcuffs off and arrest him? Fix it, Jesus. So Darius Cooks was on his live, on his IG lives. That's why I call him that, because it's a place for him to sit there and spread his lies. He's spreading the false narrative that Kiara was the one who was in fact arrested. We saw that in that car little clip. But again, he repeats the narratives the lies that he creates. He repeats them over and over so that more people buy into it, and they keep saying, you tell it the same way every time. That means it's not a lie. No, that means it's a rehearsed script. What? Oh, poor babies. Oh, poor babies. Oh, this is another piece. I don't have it here. It was out of order at least. Oh no, maybe this is it. Oh, here it is. It's out of order. So Kiara then also says, because people were asking questions, well, what's happening? Why hadn't we seen? So again, remember, this is because we've doing in the past. This was going down. The incident happened in January 25th of 2019. Not until June 12th of 2021 or June of 2021 is Kiara sharing her story publicly. Prior to that, the public wasn't aware. So people are now at this point, 2 years later, saying, well, we ain't heard nothing about him being arrested. Where's the mugshots? Where's this? Why is this? What's this? She explains. She says, the cops were corrupt too. When they arrested him, they told me not to record it because someone was asking, well, do you have videotape of it, of the incident? She tried to record it. The cops was like, no, don't be recording. Y'all know, even though by law, we can record police officers, you still will run into those who be like, don't be recording me. It's against the law. They lying to you, but you got to also make sure you make it safely, to your next event in life. So they told her she couldn't record it, which is what she was trying to do. She says, so I had to sneak a picture of them escorting him to the station because it was right behind the restaurant. So that's how we end up with this photo image, but not the actual video. But don't worry, there is a video. Wink, wink. Thank you, source. Let our source know. Tell our source thank you in the chat so they can see it, because they are going to give us a gift that I think I should have maybe ready for us by next week. Hopefully, if they are able to, provide me what I need with what I need. Wink, wink. Say thank you, source. Y'all gonna love it. Y'all gonna love it. Karma is a boomerang. Karma is a boomerang. So then a person responds and they said, it's disconcerting. And yeah, the fact that he called police, sure, that he'd be in the clear shows his level of delusion. Right. So he assaults Kiara, this person is saying, but it's very disconcerting that this fool thought that him calling the police, he would be in the clear because of who he is. And he the owner of this restaurant. And he can just say whatever. That's his level of delusion because he's used to getting away with everything. So, and it's the truth. Also, keep in mind, the police station was behind the restaurant. What does that mean? Some of the officers went to the restaurant to eat dinner, lunch, probably got discount. I'm sure got discounts, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a relationship there. So Darius Cooks thinking, I'm going to call them and these my buddies and they know who I am and I'm rich and famous in his own mind. Rich and famous, they going to go with whatever I say and they going to arrest you. Didn't go down like that. Because Darius Cooks pointed them to the videotape proving that he assaults black women. I ain't laughing at assaulting black women, but I'm laughing at his delusion. Another person, couple more of these. Another person says, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. We see a picture of him being walked to the station. Do you have a video of the incident? This needs to be exposed. So that's when Kiara was saying that she tried to record it, but she couldn't. This was another comment. And for me, I see a lot of these things where people make these like primary level suggestions on how to deal with Darius Cooks and this stuff. And all it shows me when I read that stuff is that you don't get it. And it's fine because I understand that it's this is so different than anything that many of us have experienced before. So everyone thinks that there's a simple solution to this, and they recommend simple solutions that don't work in this situation. If it did, we would not be talking about Darius Cooks still today, 10 years later, after he started all this. This person says, people are never told this, but start here. So they were telling Kiara, suggesting that she contact the EEOC and get a lawyer. Said getting a lawyer helps a lot as well. Also, a chef lives on reputation. Tell everyone what happened. Make sure everyone thinks of working for him. Make sure everyone that thinks of working for him know. A couple issues with this. EEOC, that's fine. You can do that. But Darius Cooks does not abide by laws, rules, or anything like that. So that's the problem. BBB, people contacted the BBB. What happened with that? He created t-shirts, BBB these nuts. He says, I don't have to deal with the BBB. You got a problem with me, with my service or orders, you come to me directly. Well, the reason they went to the BBB is because you was ignoring them. You were blocking them. You weren't answering their emails. That's how they went over there. Had you been doing those things, they would have never went over there. But the BBB had no real power. It's really an honor system of just because you should want a better score, you will work with us to resolve your issues. He don't care about none of that. That's why he got an F rating and still scamming people. So that, and then getting a lawyer. Why would someone spend? Kiara was owed a few $100s. By the time she done getting an attorney for this situation, she would owe more money than she was due from her check. It's like people got to think these things through, and time, money, resources, like to get an attorney to do this, months, if not a couple years of chasing him down for a few $100s. That's going to then probably cost her a few grand with an attorney. And then also tell everyone what happened. Make sure everyone that thinks of working with him know. Darius Cooks don't care about his reputation, and he's always able to gaslight people as he's continued to do. He's a social media influencer. This is different. Yeah, hey, you there is saying pro bono. Yes, if you're lucky enough to find a pro bono attorney. There's been this situation with Darius Cooks is class action level. We have yet to see an attorney step up pro bono to say, hey, all of y'all who got, like, legitimately, now there's been some shady stuff, legitimately having a pro bono attorney say, hey, I'll take on this class action lawsuit. This man is supposedly a millionaire, multimillionaire. Let's go for him. So that's easier said than done. Again, that also takes time, effort, and resources for something, in her case at that point that we're covering right now, was 2 years later for a few hundred. And when I say a few $100s, because she was making waiter or waitress wages, $2 and some an hour. So it equated to, I think, under $500, under 500 for that time, because the rest was tips. It's not worth it. It's just not in this particular situation. It's just not worth it. So, and that would be how people be like, well, what if he's so guilty? Why she ain't sue him? If he's so guilty, why this or that? Well, who the fuck gonna go through all that for $500 or less? Who gonna go through that? What they will do is air him out and go on social media like she did. Went on Twitter and just aired it all out. And we got this for evidence and exposure for years to come. 5 years later, we're still talking about it. This is how you handle it. This is how you handle that sort of situation. You can't handle this like you handle everyday life stuff. It's a different world. And I get some of y'all ain't used to this like that. And then Kiara says the fact, she was talking to the kitchen. She said, the fact that I had no clue that it is documented that this guy is problematic is wild to me. So she was another person. She started working for Darius Cooks and getting involved with him innocently, not knowing that he had this history. Again, it was kind of coming out to the public at that point. People on social media and the groups, the exposing groups and stuff, they knew. Lipstick Alley knew. Some of Twitter knew. She said, she also goes on to say, the way he kept his restaurant is deplorable. I'm surprised he stayed in business for as long as he did. Many people have said that his restaurant, I've heard some stories. I have some pictures from the restaurants, etc. Of people saying how nasty the restaurants were and how they weren't taken care of. So then she tweeted, this was when Darius Cooks went live. So again, Darius Cooks doing these multiple lives around this time, putting out the recreated narrative. One of the live streams, the IG lives he did, he titled it, I went to jail. Because he's trying to drum up engagement. And then when he gets into the live stream, he starts talking about how Kiara went to jail, that he never got arrested. He never went to jail. It was Kiara. Says the cops, Kiara then responds, because he's now live lying on her and saying that she was arrested, telling the same lie again. He's going to repeat the narrative. She says, the cops never touched me. All of this is false. She's watching him live lying on her, and she's saying, the cops never touched me. All of this is false. It doesn't even make sense. So they arrested me just to take off the cuffs and arrest him. Fix it, Jesus. I think I read that. So that was Kiara's story, and that was all we had for years. That was all that we knew, and I have told, not with quite that much detail ever before, but I have told this story a few times, like probably a good 5 to 10 times at least, that I've told this story in a more overview level. So now we have the details. We have Darius Cooks' version that we went over, the created narrative. We have Kiara's story, the truth, in detail, very detailed. She's given a very detailed account. We've not seen that again. Darius Cooks is very surface level. Everything makes him look like a victim. She is the one who's the problem. How dare she work a job for a month and never attempt to give paperwork that will ensure she gets paid. Who the hell does that? He is saying that that they begged Kiara, please, we keep asking you to give us your paperwork so we can actually pay you. Otherwise, we ain't gonna be able to pay you. She's like, fuck y'all, I don't want your money. I want to work for free. Like, what? Then after a month, she decides she want to get mad because she ain't got paid. What? Y'all let her keep coming in there for a month. working for free and begging her to fill out her paperwork. Okay. So the poll question that just went out. Have you heard Darius Cooks claim that he has never been arrested or had a mugshot taken? Now, here's the real tea. I can't, that's why I can't go live at 20 times a week anymore. I got to get it down to like maybe 2 days a week because I have to have time to pull all this stuff again and other projects we're working on. I've been actually making some progress. God is good. But I'm pretty sure. I know it happened. I'm just not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that I actually have the video footage of Darius Cooks dragging Nandy. These are two influencers, which YouTube channels. Nandy and Darrell from We Can All Do Better, I think is the name of this channel. Dragging them for filth because the two of them have had run-ins with law enforcement. Talking about some, they this, they that, at least I ain't never had no mug shot. Then with this particular situation, we just watched them lie and say that Kiara was arrested. With the proof. But he also said, I was never arrested, nothing happened. I don't even know what lie he tells about when he got to the police station, what would have happened. Well, here's a little clip. Y'all got to give me time. Y'all got to give me days off so I can have more of this stuff tighter. But this is what I got for you. Oh, here it is. Okay. Here's Darius Cooks in a clip that was created by the kitchenista 2 years ago, whatever, however long that was. 3 years ago. Created by the kitchenista regarding this situation with Kiara, where he's telling you he's never been arrested, and y'all believe the lies.
Why am I not in jail?
I'm gonna have to pause because it's got music playing and all that, and I gotta get his voice in there. Why haven't I been arrested? Why haven't I been in jail? If this is true, what Kiara was saying. This is what he's saying in this clip.
Where's the record?
Where's the record? This is June of 2021. It's 2 years after the incident. Darius Cooks got on his high horse thinking that this stuff don't exist and disappeared some kind of way. This is how he gaslight his audience.
Where's the
they edited. Where's the police report? He's asking. Oh, it exists. Oh, and the police report exists. He didn't know that. I guess he thought I don't know what he thought. I can't even say. But this is part of the gaslighting and the indoctrination as well. So this is all by design, where he's denying the allegations while simultaneously packing boxes of his books, his crook books. He like, see, they lying on me, but I'm still making money. And I'm just packing, just being all sassy about it. Meanwhile, lying his ass off. Lying his ass off.
Okay. Y'all believe anything, child.
Y'all believe anything, child. Yes, because many of them were believing you in this moment. Many of them have believed you since this moment, because that was 3 years ago almost. They were believing you, that we were all lying, that Kiara was a liar and made it up, and she was a criminal and had been arrested for demanding a check in yours from a place she worked at for free for a month.
Okay. Then that's what happened. I assault women.
Then that's what happens. I assault women. Because there's no proof that I actually assaulted any women until there was. It existed back then. But this is all by design. There's this strategy going on around here. These receipts existed back then. The source, decided that this was the time to actually release them. And that is the clip of him. We've seen this photo of him walking away. So we fast forward to, was this yesterday, y'all? I think yesterday. It had to be yesterday, because as soon as I saw it, oh my God, I was like, what? What? I was like, mugshots? And then I was like, is this Photoshop? Because, you know, people be doing all kind of creative photos over there on Twitter and stuff like this. You know, I'm like, is this a 3 inches of sadness Shrek or something going on? So I'm sitting there examining, I'm reading tweets, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm reaching out to people like, hey, where this come from? What's happening? Let me make, because I can't just be talking about stuff. Y'all know I got to educate myself. Then I found out from the source, oh no, this is true. And here's the background. So, did I pull it? Where is it? Oh, here we go. Is this thing on? Y'all don't know how much life I got from this. Is this thing on? This girl. She's so stupid. She was arrested by College Park Police Department on January 25th of 2019. It is a legal document that anybody can request from the College Park Police Department. And this girl lies for years to y'all. How stupid can you be? We know that you steal from churches, purses, and registers. You told us that story since you was a baby scammer. We knew about that. But you said you ain't had no adult mugshots. I believe you had some adolescent mugshots too. Because when you talked about those RICO charges from Frank's Nursery and Crafts, when you're doing that credit card scam and skimming off those customers' credit cards, if you really listen to him telling the story, he was robbing, and it's in our intro, he was robbing. Dad, I'm finna play this. Oh, y'all finna listen to this. I'd have some days off too. Y'all finna listen to this. Hold on. I believe when you really listen to him, he's telling you that he was stealing from the customers. He was using the store to steal from the customers. Hold on, let's get to it. Here it is. Listen to this. This ain't new. And people think this is, he in his chat from this thing. Thank God for deliverance. No, she's still a scammer. She's telling you her origin story and happy and proud about it. Happy and proud about it. Look at this.
Yeah, I stole from the church. Then, okay, the first time I remember
stole from the church and says the first time I stole, there was more than one time. The first time you stole from the church, that means there's more than one.
I definitely remember stealing was I stole from this lady's purse.
Oh, this is the story I definitely remember. It was so many of them, but this one I definitely remember. Pay attention to these key words. As this baby scammer, this career scammer and sociopath tells you who he truly is. And it's still people who ain't getting it. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that's so sad. When somebody show you who they are, believe them the first time Maya Angelou said, but goddamn it, when they tell you, how stupid can you be not to listen? He telling you who he is. How delusional are you that you're not listening? Not only is he telling you, but he shows you because you see it over and over and over again from all of these random ass people who don't even know each other. There is no conspiracy. She is not that great. These are people telling their true real life experiences of a menace to society. And you think somebody hating on her because she's grifted her way to a scampire with a couple $1 million that God ain't gonna let her hold on to. Don't be that delusional. Use your discernment. Shame on you.
A teacher at school. I was on, did I give it back? I probably should go up there right now and give a donation. That's probably what I need to do.
People are like, well, did you give it back? Like, you know, kids make mistakes. Okay. And I'm not saying, oh, because he stole as a kid, that automatically make him a criminal. Now, a repeated thief, yes. a child here that, you know, you got to learn lessons as a kid and all of that. I ain't had those kind of issues, but some kids do. I get that. They ask him if he made any retribution. It's funny to him. Well, I should have. Today I should be going back. To me, the way you saying it is like you owe the whole school, not just that teacher. You was running amok. Everybody knew you was the thief of the school. Not just your teacher and not just the classroom, but of the whole school. You talking about you owe retribution to the school.
It was this teacher at school, and I used to go to, what school was this? It was Douglas. I guess I was in House B at Douglas. I was in House A. I forgot. But this would have been like 1990. Okay, let me see. Hold on. If I graduated 8th grade in 95, it would have been like 1993 or something. Girl, that's so long ago. I can't remember shit. 30 years ago. Okay, that's how long ago this shit was. 30 years. So, I thought nobody even seen me.
I thought nobody even seen me stealing because I was so used to stealing that I had a whole method. I had a lookout. I had it all set up for me to be able to steal, but somehow they caught me that time.
That money out of her purse. I took $20 out of her purse, and I would take the money. I used to go to like
and I used to take the money. He didn't say, and I took the money. He said, I used to take the money. Listen to the key words. I used to take the money is more than one time. I used to go in her purse and take $20 whenever the hell I felt like it. That's what I used to. You don't say I used to something you did one time. That's something you did, you had as a habit, as a routine. I used to steal. Now I used to took it only out of her purse once. That's not how that works. Listen, y'all. That's why I play this. And some people probably hearing these pieces for the first time. Listen with your third ear. Listen with your third ear.
I went to the corner store. I got me some oatmeal cream pies. I got some vanilla.
Proudly talking about what he bought with stolen money, as he still does today. As he still does today. Y'all see my Range Rover? Y'all see my house I just bought in Houston? Y'all see this restaurant I'm building with my stolen money? He's still bragging about what he stole, what he bought with the money he stole. Still doing it. Look at him, happy about it.
Ice cream. I got some of them toast.
He remembering in detail. That ain't nothing he ashamed of. Why he not ashamed of that?
Coconut donuts. I got me some tangy cheese. I was fed. I was still to eat. I was fed. We was poor, right? So
I was stealing to eat junk food, not survivor food, but junk food. Girl, we was poor. So that justifies it. He doesn't ever want to be poor again, so it justifies him victimizing and being a menace to society and scamming people, thousands of people, because he doesn't want to be poor. He's telling you in this story that it was okay for him to steal out of his teachers' purses many times because he was poor. It justified it. He wanted junk food. So do you think today he feel no ways tired about stealing from y'all so he don't be poor again? She got some psychological issues related to her childhood trauma. Growing up, being the have-nots, growing up, having not a daddy, Papa was a rolling stone. All of that, mama, in his words, picking men over him, having not. And so he victimizes the world because he had not. Had not no money, had not no mama, had not no daddy. So it's y'all fault. He get to lie on y'all. He get to attack young women who all they doing is trying to work a job and get paid. He get to attack you and physically try to toss you out of his restaurant because he went without as a kid. He get to lie on everybody who calls him out and make up false narratives about why they expose him because he had not as a kid. He needs help.
Remember, I stole from a lady purse, and I got caught. And I said, damn, how they catch me? Ain't nobody even seen me go in her purse. But they found me. I had to go to the principal's office every day.
How they find me? I had to go to the principal's office, but they figured it out, y'all, because you was the thief of the school. They like, she like, my $20 missing. Where Darius at? That's what they did. Where that old big head, milk dud head Darius at? He had hair back then, but where milk dud Darius at? Y'all know he a thief. He didn't win in somebody else's purse, principal. He telling you how it went.
He called my mama. I got my ass towed clean up. So that was the first time. The second time I remember stealing was at the church. The third time, this one I said at
the second time I remember was at the church. So he done stole at school. And he said one of the times, so we know that was a few times. Then he said the second time I remember. So that's like second time I'm recalling. The second story I'm recalling for y'all in this moment is even the church, but he skipped over the church and then went straight to this third one. That's crazy, y'all.
Stop this. I think I came to my senses after this, after the third time. After the third time, I said, this is, the third time I got caught.
After the third time, I came to my senses. After the third time, I got caught. Catch the words. After the third time, I got caught. How many times did it take for you to get caught that third time? Was it 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50? How many times did you steal before getting caught for the third time? That don't mean it was the third time he stole. It just means it was the third time he actually got caught through his routine of stealing. Pay attention. Third ear. Listen. She telling on herself. And what I know is that she continues to steal all the way through when I knew her and beyond, obviously. It never stopped. He's telling you stories of stealing in school when he was a kid, an adolescent. Douglas was an elementary school, for those of y'all who don't know. He went to Crane for high school. So we're not talking about high school. Well, the first couple stories. That's elementary school. Now the story he's getting into is when he was in high school. That's a career thief. He's been stealing from adolescent. Do you literally think that he only stole in elementary school twice and then didn't steal again until he started working as a 15 or 16-year-old? Is that what you really believe? If you do, whether you believe or not, hit that like button. We got 404 viewing and only 231 likes is what I'm saying on my end. Hit that like button. I ain't been here in a minute. Show me that you want me to come back. Hit that like button.
I said, no, I can't do this. It was more like organized crime. I could have got a RICO charge.
The third time that he got caught, not the third time he stole, but just the third time he got caught, and that's in his words. It could have been the 15th time. Ain't no telling. It could have been RICO charges. It was so big of a deal that it could have been RICO charges. And now he describes how it is. Thank you, Sock Snob, for your Cash App, friend. I'll check in a second. I appreciate you, friend.
I could have had a RICO charge. Let me tell you what happened. I had this job, right? I told y'all this before. I had this job. I used to work at Frank's Nursery and Craft in North Riverside. Third, I know. Girl, I was a kid. You kids do dumb shit because they kids. I used to work at Frank's Nursery and Crab. It was in North Riverside, right? It was like when you go into North Riverside, you gotta go past the Best Buy, and then on the right hand side before you go to the mall, there's the
And you see how he adds unnecessary details? It's to deflect from the fact that he's literally telling you, yes, I know that people continue to call me a scammer. I know that people have all of these receipts all over these internets and interwebs. And I'm telling you a story that proves that what they've been saying is true about my character. But, oh yeah, it's if you drive down Cermak on your left-hand side. That ain't got shit to do with the story. But it helps to ease the weight of what he's literally telling y'all. And confuse a few people because somebody's like, the third? He's just telling you the third time that he remembers getting caught. It's actually way more. You should be more shocked.
It was Frank's Nursery and Crab, right? And I used to, I was on the cash register. This is what I used to do. So let's say you come and you come to the register and you do your stuff.
So now he's explaining to them the scam, the credit card skimming scam that he did as a teenager while working at a retail store called Frank's Nursery and Crafts. It explains itself. It was a crafting store with a garden center, a huge garden center. He's telling you how he stole money from people because this money was getting stolen from the customers. Listen, it's actually the same skimming scam that he did when he opened the Cupcake Gallery at all his businesses. You'll hear people talk about that even with the books, but also Greens and Gravy and Soul Crab, the Soul Crabs. You'll see people saying that their credit cards were overcharged. It wasn't by mistake, y'all. It wasn't by mistake. She was running the same scam she was learned how to do in high school at Frank's Nursery and Crafts. I know y'all think we're making all this up, but all the puzzle pieces, we got the whole puzzle pieces, all of them here, and they just fitting together so perfectly. I don't know why y'all think we're making this up. It's not no need.
Right? You be like, okay, I'm gonna cash out. You know, back then the credit card, everything was separate. It wasn't the same. So what I used to do is if your bill was like $37.41, right? I would charge your credit card $41 and whatever the cent is, and then take the $10 out the grocery store.
If your bill was $37, he would charge your card $47. Who did he steal? Put it in the chat. Who did he steal that $10 from, y'all? Did he steal that $10 from Frank Nurseries and Craft? Or did he steal it from the customer? Well, technically, he was taking the cash out of their register to, mess up their accounting system. But who paid that $10? The customer. Well, really, but the customer. It got charged to their card. He's telling you he was scamming customers at the age of 16 or 17. Doing the same thing he's been accused of doing at his restaurants, I'm just saying all the businesses. People have said that.
Out the cash register, out the grocery store, Lord Jesus, out the cash register, right? So, I would probably make about between like $80 and $100 doing that a day.
$80 to $100 a day. So he was doing that to 8 to 10 customers per day. Right. Diane Osborne says, still doing it today. Exactly.
Girl, today, till I get somebody down to the accounting department, started doing a reconciliation.
What happened was exactly what happens today. Customers started noticing. Some people pay attention to their finances. Some people reconcile their bank accounts and credit card statements, and they like, wait a minute. I didn't spend $47 on this stuff from Frank's Nursery. This should have been $37. After they got 100. Now, if he's doing 8 to 10 people per day, and let's just go with, he said he was part-time, 3 days a week. In a couple months, That's a couple hundred people that he's been stealing from. People start coming in and saying, why y'all overcharge me? That's how he got caught. That's why he's saying it could have been Rico. I believe in my heart and in my soul at this point, especially with what we know today with the Kiara situation and Mugshot Gate. With Mugshot Gate, I truly believe that this is not Darius Cooks' first mugshot. I believe, and I said it before, that Darius Cooks got arrested as a minor during this time. Remember, he was under 18 during this time. It's retail theft on whatever level, however they charged it. And I believe that Darius Cooks got a slap on the wrist of some sort. And because he was a minor, this ish got sealed. I don't believe that he could steal on the level that he claimed. Now, I worked places as a teenager, and I knew other kids who stole, people who be on the register, skimming money here or there, but it'd be kind of petty money level, and they would get fired or whatever. I think I do recall one person getting arrested. I was still a teenager when I worked at Best Buy. One of the cashiers, I think I remember getting arrested. But and they were an adult. But generally, the other teenagers I know that did that stuff, they just get fired or whatever. I believe Soxnon Film is saying he had it expunged. Possibly. Or if he was a minor, doesn't that mean we just still wouldn't be able to see it, even if it was just sitting there? But he probably got it expunged by now. I truly believe. Oh, I'm gonna close this poll out, and then we about to wrap the show up. I thought we end at 2 hours on the dot, but I was just yammering. I missed y'all. I couldn't stop talking. There's so much to come, and this was juicy. This was juicy. Poll question, we closing out. Have you heard Darius Cooks claim that he has never been arrested or had a mugshot taken? 64% of you said yes. You've actually heard him say that. Because he has. 36% of you had not heard it. Well, you just saw it. I played a clip, but there's been a multitude of times, especially when he was talking about other people who have had some legal troubles in the past, dragging them for filth, calling them dishonest and criminals and all these other things. And this fool sitting here with a mugshot that he thought wasn't going to ever surface again.
Hey, popping like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rain do. Speak a little something